Alright, I'm making this video a bit late because, quite frankly, there's been some recent developments regarding this final tomorrow, and to be honest, it's ridiculous. At first, I wanted to just make a tactical preview about this game, but now there's something else to talk about that has to do with this final, of course, and I'm gonna make a two-part video, which is gonna be the first part of the tactical preview, and then the second part of what I'm gonna say about Madrid because I have a lot to say. And let's just get right into it because I can't believe what's even happened today. So let's start with the um the expected lineup. So firstly, let's actually take a look at this. 60% of people on SofaScore expect Barca to win. 85% of people believe both teams will score, and 63% will believe that Barca will score first. Now, the team news: Lewandowski, Balde, of course, Bernal and Casado out for Barca. Camavinga, Militao, Carvajal definitely out for Madrid, and then Alaba and Mendy might be available. The expected lineups: Chesney for Barcelona, Koundé, Kubarsi, Inigo, Gerard Martin. I expect Martin to start, but I would not be surprised if Hansi Flick pulls out a different card for this, although I expect Martin to start. De Jong, Pedri in the midfield, of course, as the pivots. Rafinha, Yamal on the wings. Olmo at 10. Now, I'm not completely sure about this. I think he might actually start Gavi or Fermin and save Olmo for the Inter tie, especially considering his injury history. But I still think Olmo will start, although I would definitely not be surprised if it was Fermin or Gavi. And then, of course, Ferran Torres for Lewandowski. Madrid's news: as expected starting lineup: Courtois, Valverde instead of Vasquez at right back. Now, that's going to be a big change. And then, of course, we have Asensio, Rudiger, Fran Garcia in the back line. And then Tchouameni, Modric, and Bellingham. Modric, of course, because Camavinga is out for this game. He's injured. And then, of course, Rodrigo, Mbappe, and Vinicius Jr. Now, I expect Rodrigo to start, although I wouldn't be surprised if Ancelotti starts Diaz or Guler and opts for a diamond formation from Madrid with Mbappe and Vinny up top. And then we'll see how that looks like. But if we start with Barca's team on paper here, this is basically how it will look. Now, Hansi Flick earlier in the press conference said that they adapt the setup accordingly to the team that they always play against, whether it's a La Liga game, whether it's a Champions League game. Every opponent they have, the team and the setup is adjusted by Hansi Flick, apparently. Now, regardless of that, the high line is going to be there. The high line is going to be there. Whether it's a super high line, whether it's a bit of more of a dropped high line, we don't know. But there will be a high line. This is Hansi Flick's style, of course. De Jong and Pedri in the midfield, we know that. Almost a 10, and then we have this front line. Now we all know Barca's system this year. It's going to be Rafinha playing off the shoulder of Ferran Torres, making those runs here, being involved in the left flank, and he has to be involved after Gerard Martin starts. And then, of course, Yamal holding the width. Pedri's going to be Pedri. He has to have another insane game for his standards. De Jong, of course, has to have a great game because he has to help Pedri in that midfield heavily, and then we need to have the backline focus on the offside trap, heavily focused. Ferran Torres has to be a very present player. Lewandowski, even if he hasn't been good in parts of the season, at the very least, he has that experienced number 9 presence, at the very least. And because of that, the team can play around him. He at the very least creates space for players around him, and he has that impact as an experienced number 9. Ferran Torres has to have that as well. If he doesn't, at the very least, have some nice link-up plays, have some nice runs being made, finish the chances that you get, and just have a role. The weak space for Barcelona, obviously, is going to be Gerard Martin. I mean, obviously, he's going to be the obvious weak point of this team, and that coupled with Rafinha being more of an inverted winger rather than a wide winger to cover here, there might be space for Madrid to capitalize here, especially with Valverde's pace and power on the right flank to drive up. Pedri's going to have a lot of roles here to defend and build up on that side. Rafinha as well to press. But what's important to note is that I'm not sure what Flick's going to tell Gerard Martin, but he cannot have him pressing up or being as active high up in the pitch like he has Balde, because Martin's main issue is literally agility and pace. He has precisely 0 of both of those. No pace and no agility. And the one thing you might actually need against this Madrid team is pace. At the very least, if you're a fullback, at least have some pace. No one's saying to be Dani Alves, but have some pace on you. And he's going to be a weak point. Hopefully, he can hold it down. Let's see how that looks like. It's going to be important for the offside trap. But yes, now if Olmo starts, great. Is going to be a very important player to get past the Madrid midfield. If Flick opts for Gavi or Fermin, let's say Gavi, he's going to of course have Gavi as a 10, and it's going to be still a great option to build out of the middle here and continue into the attacking third of the pitch. But also, it will be a good option to have defend in a 4-3-3 with Gavi as another midfielder, a bit deeper, and then have the attack with the 3 players here. If we go to Madrid now, though, we of course have the 4-3-3 with Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, of course Tchouaméni, Modric, and Bellingham. Now, Madrid's setup is basically unknown. I mean, they don't really have structure. They have very poor ball retention in the middle, very poor ball circulation in general. I mean, they just don't have a devastating factor about them, except the fact that all their players are literally speed demons or just PMP monsters in general. Valverde is going to be dangerous on the right flank with Rodrigo if he does start, especially against Gerard Martin. And then, of course, they're gonna have Tchouaméni trying to put in a strong shift, winning the ball back from whoever is there, Olmo, maybe Yamal if he cuts in, or Gavi, for example. Bellingham is going to be there running cardio sessions as usual, and trying to get into duels and winning the ball like that. But this is where Madrid's woes lie, because Barca has their tactics on lock usually. We don't know if Madrid's going to change, but Madrid's defense has been shocking. I mean, truly shocking. Yamal, if Fran Garcia starts here, of course, Ferland Mendy is probably going to be back for this game, but I'm not sure if he's going to be fully ready to start. Yamal is going to could possibly have a field day against Garcia. But on the strength side, what if? Now, of course, we have the offside trap, and they can take advantage of this. Now, what if Ancelotti opts for this? Güler or Diaz? Let's just say Güler. Instead of Rodrigo, and Madrid go in a diamond formation with Mbappe and Vini as strikers. Now, on the face of this, they could possibly have better control in the middle because of this, but they tried this against Getafe, I'm pretty sure, and it wasn't really successful, is it? It wasn't really. They got dominated in the second half by Getafe of all teams, and yes, it will still allow them to be able to capitalize on the offside trap directly through the middle with Mbappe and Vini. But that's only if the players over here do not suffer the pressure of Barcelona. Barcelona, what wins them this game is their relentlessness. The offside trap works very well if the pressure is intense, is perpetual throughout the whole game, and there's no tiring out. Now, the team got some very important rest against Mallorca on the last game. Martin got some rest. I think it was Kubarsi who got some rest. Koundé got some very important rest. And then Rafinha got some rest, I'm pretty sure. And then Yamal got subbed out, I guess, 10 minutes 10 minutes before the end of the game. De Jong got some rest. So there's been some very important rest for the team. That's my point. And if they can press for the whole game and just be all over Madrid, this could be a very, 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 very successful game, because the pressure is what keeps this offside trap devastating. Pedri's going to be very important, like I said before. And although I don't believe it's going to be as insane as as insanely one-sided as the other Clásicos this season, I still expect Barca to win. I don't think it's going to be the 4-0 or the 5-2 of before, but I will say that Barca will win as my prediction. 3-1 Barca. I expect Barca to get the job done. And in regards to the next segment of this video, what I'm about to say, it will be a shame. It will be a shame if Barcelona do not go out and win this game. Firstly, on the form of both of these teams this season, and just in general how both teams are playing, whether recently the form or just in general how they're set up. But also because of what happened today. Now, I said I'm going to talk about this right now in this video. 2 segments. This is the second segment. So let's start with everything that happened. So, De Burgos and whoever's in his team or whatever was a team chosen by RFEF, which is the Spanish Federation of Football, for the Copa del Rey final. And in my opinion, De Burgos is one of the few referees in Spain who is at the very least half decent. At the very least half decent. And Madrid do not like this. So Madrid, it hasn't just been with De Burgos. Oh, by the way, before I continue here, this is probably the first time I'm heavily in public going out and vocally speaking against Madrid like this. And I know I'm not some guy like, who are you to speak against Madrid? You have 10 subscribers or whatever it is. But still, these are things that you want to say if you're a football fan. I'm not some Barca fan who, like, I completely and utterly am a completely anti-Madrid, and I never look at anything that they do in fairness. But recently, they do not make it easy for me to look at things in fairness. And let's start with this season in general. They've used Madrid TV to attack referees in general, not just the referee for tomorrow's game, which we'll talk about more, but in general, they've used Madrid TV to attack referees in La Liga, and no other team does this. No other team does this in world football, let alone in La Liga. And what happened with Madrid TV's latest attack on a referee, which was the referee for tomorrow's game, was this. Of course, they attacked him, and the referees came out in a press conference today and spoke about this. Spoke about the game in general, but also this came up as a point. And Burgos, the main referee for tomorrow's game, said, when your son goes to school and there are children who tell him that his father is a thief and he comes home crying, that's really tough. There was more context to this. He was talking about how he always tries to teach his son about how referee's job is difficult. I agree with that. It's a job that he teaches his son that his father does his job, with honor, with respect, and I believe that. And of course, the main issue here is that this whole Madrid TV attack thing has gone and is affecting his family. Now that's where it gets too far, because you have people, especially kids who shouldn't be involved, being affected by this. Now, yes, this is the first part of it, and this whole thing is orchestrated by Madrid. So they started with the Madrid TV attack, and now once these quotes came out with the guy crying and stuff, now Madrid were threatening they wanted the Spanish Federation to choose a different team of referees for tomorrow's game, because they don't think this referee is ready, because he's overly emotional. He's overly emotional, and they're not happy with the quotes, with the statements he made against Madrid in this press conference. So firstly, what happened? Before this Clásico was, Madrid had scheduled a press conference. They canceled that because of this. A dinner between the board of Madrid and the board of Barca. They canceled that. And a training session, I think it was open for the fans to see. They canceled that. Then after this, there was reports that Madrid were threatening to not even play in the competition. Now, whether that was a forfeit, I don't think the Spanish Federation would have allowed that, or whether it was just purely not showing up, I'm not sure. But the point is that these threats were made to not be involved in this, and it's ridiculous. I mean, this team talks about being mentality monsters all the time, and when they're losing, they're anything but that. Now, I have a lot more to say. Do not leave this video if you're still here, but let's continue here. The other referee, this is the big part of it as well. The other referee, I don't know if he's going to be an assistant, I don't know if he's going to be a VAR tomorrow, whatever it is. He came out and said, and of course this is an out of context quote, Madrid fans, typical. He said, we are more united than ever with Medina Cantalejo, who is the Spanish Referee Federation president, I think. He said, we're going to have to take stricter measures than the ones we're taking now. In coming days, you'll see that we'll make history. Madrid fans, as per, they only see things on service level. They don't actually, everything's victim for them. They're always the victims, except when they win the UCL, and we know how they win those things. They took this whole "we'll make history" quote as if we're gonna rob Madrid tomorrow. Now, Madrid fans in general, we know why they support Madrid. It's not really because of any morals. It's more because of they win the trophies, and it's mostly bandwagons who don't know Spanish. Now, this person over here, I don't know where the post went. Try to find it real quick. Let me open a new Twitter tab here. So this person explained what was going on, and it's not a fake explanation. He knows what's happening. So we go to this tweet, this interaction over here. Actually, I think I had it open already. It was over here, yes. Or was it? I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm scrambling right now. I have so much to say. I'm just scrambling. Hold on. I've never been this shocked by what's happening today. I usually am not shocked, but this is ridiculous. So there was some debate about this, and this guy basically was talking to a Madrid fan saying that they misinterpreted the whole thing, which is the case. He was explaining it and said, the referee is talking about the creation of a new entity that will work to protect referees. As Archivo VAR, which is a Twitter account that is very heavily involved and explains the referee scene in Spain on Twitter, as they revealed 3 weeks ago. Madrid fan, of course, typically just says nonsense. And this guy continues to explain. He said, "Have you heard the Spanish original video? Whatever this means." He said, "If you understand Spanish, it's worth it. And there's a clear and obvious meaning behind what is said." He quotes it, "The entire refereeing team in Spain are united and determined to protect the referees. And together with the CTA, there will be new, stricter measures taken to protect them. We will make sure of it. And in the next few days, history will be made." There's not a single threat. Now the Twitter user says, "There's not a single threat in any of that unless you are paranoid and a loser," which most of these Madrid fans qualify as. And then he provides proof that the referee is referring to this, which Archivo VAR today highlighted after the whole Madrid scandal thing. They said that on April 3rd, the referees in another press conference said, "In the next few days, you will see that it will make history at the CTA." So basically, they were just referring to protecting the referees better against the Madrid attacks, against whatever it is. And Madrid fans take it as a threat. I mean, they always think they're being robbed when they have upwards of $1 billion team. If any team in history has been favored by referees, it's been them. I can show you proof in the UCL. I can show you proof in the Liga. There's been no team more obviously been favored than them historically. And yeah, I mean, they're being victims because they simply cannot stomach the fact that they have upwards of $1 billion team. They have devastatingly strong and fast players in every position, and they still play like they do play like this season, which is disgraceful. And another point that Madrid fans made this today was that they were saying basically that oh, why are referees doing press conferences? This is insane. They've never seen this before, which is categorically incorrect. I mean, as we saw here before, there was a press conference here by the referees, and also this user pointed out that I'm not sure if it was I think it was this last season. I'm not sure if it was a final or not, but the Mallorca and Bilbao facing the Copa del Rey, and the referees also then had a pre-match press conference. So it's not anything out of the ordinary, designed, orchestrated to go against Madrid. It's just Madrid fans crying, and it just doesn't make sense to me because if you look at Madrid, they're the PR around them. Mentality monsters when they win the UCL. Mentality monsters, the Kings Club of football. And then you look at their how they act. I mean, this is what Courtois said just about a month ago against Atletico Madrid in the UCL. Courtois said, "Enough crying about the referees. I'm tired of it." His club all season on Madrid TV has been crying about referees. No other club uses their TV channel or in general use any form of media to attack referees at all, let alone Madrid like this. And it's just ridiculous. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me how as a club they could be so like disgusting, so inconsiderate, so selfish. They think the sport revolves around them. You recall that the Ballon d'Or ceremony, the whole club boycotted the Ballon d'Or ceremony because Vinny didn't win it. And I promise you, Rodri at the very least deserved it as much as Vinny did. At the very least, as much as Vinny. So I mean, they boycotted that. They use Madrid TV to cry all day. They're hypocrites in the club. I mean, they say things, and then the club does exactly what they talk against. I mean, you have Ancelotti here in 2023. Apparently, Xavi made a statement against referees. Now, by the way, before I continue this quote over here, because Laporta's also done this. Laporta on Twitter made a video last year, I'm pretty sure, and he said he basically asked for fairness from VAR. Asking for fairness from VAR every now and again, or maybe once, rarely making a statement against referee or a situation is not bad. There's freedom of speech, but using all resources you have in the media to attack referees before every game you play and after every game you play, crying, being hypocrites in general. Look what Ancelotti said here. He said, "I'm a professional. I'm not going." This is in response to Xavi. I'm not going to lower myself to that level out of respect for Spanish football. Complaining about referees is a level that is not for professionals, and they are hypocrites. When they win, they're the best team of all time. They're the greatest mentality. They're the best players in the world, of course, because they sign players with pure money. They do not produce football. They don't provide players for the sport, or even Spain. You talk about the 2010 Spain World Cup winning team. More than half that team was Barcelona players. They don't provide unbelievable players other than a very select few, like Ramos and Casillas, for example, to the national team. They don't care about the teams around them. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. They don't like. It just doesn't make sense how they act like this. I mean, their whole team's worth upwards of $1 billion. What more do they want? They have not been done over by referees this season. The referees in Spain in general are poor. De Burgos, who's going to be the referee tomorrow, is one of the few ones who's like at the very least half decent. At the very least, it's half decent, and they do not like that because they want complete favoring because they're so scared in their pants about losing another game to Barcelona this season. And this is why I said at the it will be a massive shame if Barca loses the game tomorrow. And of course, Yamal now is on. He went on Instagram. He said, "Silence speaks louder," and he's been posting stuff on social media a lot in general. It's whatever. Overall, they need to win this game because it's shameful what Madrid are doing. They think the sport revolves around them. The fan base have no interest in reality. They're not interested in reality. They just want to look at things on surface level and just produce narratives that allow them to cope about the situation of the team that they support, which support in quotes means they just like them because they win trophies, and they just don't really care about the football in general. It's just about Madrid, about themselves, and they're very inconsiderate. It's just selfish. Now, I'm not saying about all Madrid fans. You know, I have experience with my cousins. They're Madrid fans, but they're not like active on social media all day in terms of being up to date and being tribal. They want Madrid to win. They have their own opinions, but people on social media, the Madrid fans, all day tribalism, all day just lying, deception, and lying by omission. Just disingenuous. It's not even football discourse. It's just disingenuous narrative pushing. And at this point, I have to say something about it. I've been neutral in general. I don't like, my videos in general in public talking against things like this, but it just doesn't make sense to me why they're acting like this. Listen, it's a shame. There's a lot more you can't say about this, but what else can you say? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, listen, Barca just have to win this game tomorrow. There's nothing more to say. Madrid have embarrassed themselves with this. Madrid fans on Twitter are still defending it for some reason, and they're still acting like the victims. And it's a shame because I wanted to watch this game. I was very excited. I still am, but this is a bad taste to it. And what's cringe is that for a very long time before things like this started happening with Madrid, boycotting stuff, obviously being cringe club hypocrites, Premier League fans and a lot of Bayern fans would twerk for them, man. They glaze them all the time. Like if their favorite team lost, they just become Madrid fans for the rest of the season so that they can see some silverware and feel some happiness, apparently. But recently, a lot of people have been clocking their angle. A lot of people have been seeing the truth. And Diego Simeone said it. Time is the greatest architect of reality. And it's about time the truth comes out because this is just ridiculous. I can't believe this is the case right now. It just doesn't make sense to me. So huge rant here. A lot of moments where I've been stuttering and just speaking too fast for anybody to understand because I've had a lot to say, and I want to keep it in a half short video. But listen, big game tomorrow. I will of course do a match review, and yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if people are going to be in this video still up until this point. I hope you at least seen what I had at least thought about this thing. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you after the game tomorrow.